All right, everyone. It is Sunday, July 31st. I'm your host, always, Adam Martin. It's Big Marcellus, the MMAOB Daily Podcast, second podcast of Sunday morning here. We just finished recapping UFC 277. Now we're going to preview UFC Vegas 59, Marcel. Interesting card here. We got Thiago Santos versus Jamahal in the main event. As well, Marcel, we're going to talk about Contender Series. There's another card this week. Hopefully. Oh, I don't even know if we talked about that guy missing weight. Did we talk about that last week? The guy missed weight and the fight got canceled, right? So hopefully we actually get 5 fights this week.
Yeah.
And also there's PFL, Marcel, so we'll touch on that for a few minutes at the end as well. I mean, but you get full breakdowns for all of the UFC fights. Grateful dude, what's up, man? Appreciate you, dude. I know you're very grateful. Antoine, what's up, man? How was your weekend? The weekend was pretty good, Antoine. I mean, I've been taking care of my daughter a lot lately because she's turning 1, so she's running around now, Marcel. She's walking everywhere. So just chasing after her. Obviously, the fights were good. What else did I do? Yeah, I just did some like shopping and stuff. My weekends are different now, man. You know what I mean? Like last week I went to that Rage Against the Machine concert with my buddy. It was so awesome. We're downtown. I'm remembering what it was like to be like a young man again. And then I'm like, all right, back to reality with dad and can't party as much as I used to. So it's all good though, because I really like spending time with my daughter. It's cool. She turns 1 year old this week, Marcel. Can you believe that? Can you freaking believe that, Marcel? I know.
Crazy.
George, what's up, man? Yeah, we do have a lot of split decisions on this card, or potential on deck with all the women's fights. I think there's 4 women's fights on this card. There's 4, dude. So I would say definitely at least one of those 4 fights ends by split decision. And that's a very, obvious prediction. Okay, so we're going to preview UFC Vegas 59, like I mentioned. Let's start off with that, Marcel. So your overall quick thoughts before we get into the card. I know that Misha Cirkunov fell off the card with Gamzatov, so down a fight. But overall, I mean, it's an okay fight night. I mean, it's definitely not the sexiest card on paper, but the fights are pretty good. I think that it should be. Anyways, what do you think?
Yeah, it's an okay card. It's not a card like I'm like, oh, dude, this card, but it's okay. We always watch it. So, anyways, it's okay. I'm happy, by the way, that they don't do like the Ultimate Fighter finale, how do you say that? A separate card, but just put the finale, two finales on this one. That's better.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I don't mind them just putting on this too. It's obvious. It wasn't. I did watch the Season of Tough, so I have some things to say about those fighters. Mm-hmm. They didn't sign anyone else, from the show, or at least not yet. Maybe they'll bring them in on short notice at some other point, but. Just trying to think if there's anyone else. I think that Chandler Cole guy had a really crazy fight with that. Yeah. I know he lost, but I know Dana was impressed with that kick. So I think maybe he could come in, Marcel, but at 205 because he's a small heavyweight, right?
Do you think Usman won the semifinal
against Eduardo Perez?
Yeah,
I think he did win. Very, very a close fight. I think Perez is another guy that will probably end up being the UFC at some point, Marcel. I think he's a decent prospect. He didn't fight a great fight that night, but I think he's decent. So. But I think Usman, I think he won that fight, but it was very close. I guess you thought the other way around?
50-50, man. I think would go either way. So I'm not really I don't think it was a bad decision, but could have gone either way.
Yeah, Sam Alvey's on this card. He's got 6 kids now, by the way. So he's got to win this fight. You got to put food on the table. Shame both Usman's bros lose this month. I mean, maybe. We'll talk about both those fights. Hill skyrockets on the 6, who record fights after maybe Smith. I don't know if Smith's going to be fighting for a while, man, with that leg injury. I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, I think if he wins this fight, Jamahal will fight someone like an elite guy, and like Jan or someone like that, like one of the losers of those fights or something. I don't know, like someone in the top 5 for sure. That Rakic maybe. I mean, they could do that fight. Hill and he's also injured too, so
Volkan
would be okay, but that's stepping backwards at that point if he beats Santos. Mitchell Stipe from on the show too. He's not that good. I mean. Fight with Usman was kind of close, but he's not that good. Like he was more worried about slapping his belly than actually fighting. I don't know if you saw that fight, Marcel.
Yeah, I saw.
You watched the fights? You watched them all?
I've seen them, yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we have a lot to talk about today, guys. Let's get into it. We'll start off with the first fight here, Marcel. Again, using UFCstats.com. I believe that's updated, right, Marcel? I think it's accurate.
Let me see.
Yeah, double check it before because I think they have updated it though. It looks like there's 12 fights, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct.
Good stuff. Okay, so we'll start off with this card here, guys, with this fight. Mayra Bueno Silva against Stephanie Egger, women's bantamweight division. We pull the odds up here. The odds are close. Kind of interesting odds, actually. Silva minus 130, Egger plus 110. So actually, that's what it opened at. So it hasn't really shifted at all. What are your thoughts on this fight, Marcel? Let's kick off the card. Are you surprised it's kicking off the card, by the way? Because Silva, I was going to ask you, she was on the main card one fight of the night, and now she's first fight of the night. Kind of weird. Anyways, what are your thoughts?
I have a bad read on this fight, to be really honest, dude. It's really tough. I think Mayra Bueno Silva, I should say Mayra Bueno Silva. She won her last fight, was a fight of the night. Wasn't amazing, I think. The thing with Silva is when she gets a step up in competition, she always fades pretty much, you know. If you look at Stephanie Egger, she got 2 good wins, man, in her last 2 fights. Got to give it to her. Before that, losing pretty dominant to Tracy Cortez. Man, I don't know, man. This kind of smells like a split decision again. You know what I mean? Go with my gut feeling. I think Egger wins. Unanimous decisions or split decision, whatever, but she wins.
Yeah, it's going to be close, I think, for sure. I mean, the odds seem right. I kind of favor Egger slightly too, Marcel. Like, we actually have the same pick here. Small underdog kick off tonight. I just think she was really impressive against Jessica Rose Park and even against Shanna Young. I mean, she looked good in those fights. Again, not the best level competition, obviously, Marcel, but still, like, the win over Clark obviously is decent on name value alone. Her grappling is good. She's like a former judoka or whatever, and obviously has some submission ability, and she finished Young too. Cortez fight was kind of competitive. I mean, she lost, but it was competitive. So she's not bad. I mean, Silva, like, again, remember, she's at 135 now, so I still question her, like, size for the division, Marcel. Like, she seemed more like a flyweight to me. The last one with Juliana was competitive. She won the fight. She's not bad. I mean, I have betted her in the past, and she's won me a few bets. Also, I think, it was the fight with De La Rosa. She was winning that fight, and I bet her in that fight, and then she grabbed the fence and got a point deducted. So that's the problem, right? Her takedown defense, I don't think is that good. 69%. That's not that good. My gut feeling, like you, Marcel, is Egger wins, and I feel like she takes her down, controls her. But I think maybe she could even finish this fight. So I'll say this: a split decision is always tempting on these women's, like, lower level women's fights. So this is like a medium level women's fight, I'd say. I think that Marcel might not even look close. Like, she might just go to the ground and hold her there, and, like, you might just know she won the fight. You know what I mean? So I don't have a ton of interest in betting this fight, but if I did, I would take the plus money if you really want to bet this fight. Take Egger. What are you going to
say? Medium level, so we go with majority decision.
Yeah. Probably all the women's fights go the second round. I mean, possibly, but this girl's last fight, Egger, went in the first round, so you never know. All right, let's get to the next fight here, Marcel.
You'll go this one first, by the way.
The next fight?
Yeah.
All right, let me write in the timestamp here. Okay, I do it right when we're doing the show, so that way, like, I have it, and then you guys can see it right away. Cory McKenna versus Miranda Granger, another, like, just tough fight to call. I mean, honestly, minus 225 McKenna, plus 175 Granger. It's a tough fight to call. I mean, how could you really have a great read on this fight? And both girls, like, women, have not looked great in the UFC, I don't think. McKenna Poppins, Marcel, I mean, she's so small, like, 10-inch reach disadvantage in this fight, guys. Like, she's very, very small for this weight class. And if they had 105, maybe that's a girl that could fight at 105, you know, because she's so small. 58-inch reach is, like, one of the shortest in the UFC. I think it is the shortest. I think what you – go ahead.
I met her once, man, in the Cage Warriors event. She comes to my hip, man. I'm like a big fat dude, so crazy,
here's the thing, like, you know, the last fight with Reed was competitive. She could have won if she wrestled more. The thing is, she just, like, wanted to stand for some reason.
Yeah.
And then she wrestled in the third round and made it close. But, I mean, the cancer fight, I don't even know if she really deserved to win that fight. Honestly, it was close. She beat Demopoulos on tough, which actually looks good now. I think it might be her best win on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Just an okay fight. I mean, okay wrestling. Training at a good camp, obviously, in Alpha Male. She's young. She's only 23. So, I mean, she's got some things going for her. I don't know, though, Marcia. I don't trust her. It's just thing is, I don't know how good Granger is either. Like, she did beat Goldie, but, you know, gets smoked by Lemos. No shame in that. But she lost to Ashley Yoder. I don't rate Ashley Yoder very highly, and she didn't look very good in that fight. Now, she has taken some time off, obviously. She has a big reach advantage, Marcel. She has a height advantage, 4 inches, 10-inch reach advantage. But I just don't trust her at all. Again, it's probably dog or pass, but this time I'll just stick with the favorite, go with McKenna by decision, Marcel. I have no idea how this fight's going to go. I mean, I feel like this is a really hard fight to really get a good read on. I think she's the better grappler probably on paper. That's why I'll take this girl. But again, very small for the weight class. And what are your thoughts, man?
Why the hell you think I said to you, you go first? Such a horrible fight to pick, you know. Miranda, Danger, Granger. I mean, like, I'm still shocked she goes with Danger. She should have went with Power. So Miranda, Power, Granger. That
That's a
would have
good
been
one.
yeah, that would have been much more fun. Cory McKenna, like you said, man, bad fight IQ in our last fight against Elise Reed. Should have been taking it to the ground, didn't. Got worked, only in third round now. Miranda, been away from the sport for a few years. 2 losses in her last, and that Yoder loss, dude. I mean, listen, man, I really like Ashley Yoder, but if you look really, Ashley Yoder shouldn't have been in the UFC, man, of the Ultimate Fighter. Remember, to get in the house, she had to fight Jodie Escribel, and I think Escribel clearly won that fight back then, and Yoder was just lucky at that moment. But I like her a lot, so no disrespect. Cory McKenna, man, decision. Yeah. That's how I feel, but absolutely not gonna parlay this fight anywhere or whatever.
I would stay away from this one too. I mean, honestly, the odds are tempting on Granger. Plus 175, plus 200 in one of these books.
It's possible,
I mean, there's probably some value in that. I don't want to even touch this fight though. I just want to stay the hell away from this one too. So the first 2 fights, I guess I kind of like Egger in them. I'll have to think about it more, like as far as like betting on her. But like for this one, just maybe a pass for me. But I do think Egger has got value as a dog in the first fight. I'll say that. All right, let's get to the next fight now. Jason Witt versus Josh Quinlan and Marcel. This is another interesting fight, welterweight division. We got odds right now. Let me ask you what you think of these odds. Minus 200 on Josh Quinlan making his UFC debut against Jason Witt, the veteran who just beat Bryan Barberena a couple fights ago. What do you think, man? Like, actually, you want me to start on this one too? Want me to give my thoughts quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like the line is off, guys. I got to be honest with you on this one. I think Jason Witt's not getting respected here at all. Like, he's got way more experience than this guy. And, I mean, listen, I know his chin is not good. I faded him against like Matt Semmelsberg, a couple other guys. But, like, it's a different situation. Like, those were, like, pick-em situations or like, underdog situations. Like, now you have to lay minus 200 on Josh Quinlan, a guy who's 5-0. He did have a contender series fight, but he tested positive for, like, PEDs after that fight. Like, he hasn't fought great competition. Like, you look at the records the guys he's fought. 0-0, 1-0, 0-0, 3-1, 6-3, and obviously the last guy 5-1. He's got power. There's no doubt about it. He could knock out Jason Witt. I'm just thinking, like, Jason Witt has the experience. He's got the wrestling. He's got the cardio. His chin is not very good, obviously, but it did hold up against Bryan Barberena. You see, if it does hold up, he's very good on the ground. Very good wrestler, good cardio. And he looked great in that fight. He knocked down Bryan Barberena, man. I know he got destroyed by Phil Rowe in that second round, but he still was doing okay with the takedowns. I think, again, if he survives the first round, I think he wins this fight. I feel like the value's on Jason Witt in this fight, Marcel. Like, I know Quinlan's got power, but 5 fights compared to 27. And you have, or it's really 6 fights, against 27 with tons of experience in the UFC against really high-level guys. He's more proven. Like, the guys he's been knocked out by, Phil Rowe, who's knocked out some pretty good guys. Semmelsberg's got power. Takashi Sato, obviously, is short notice, but he shouldn't have got knocked out by him. But then, again, obviously, on the regional scene, some guys that aren't that good knocked him out as well. So that's why I've kind of faded in the UFC. I just think at plus 170, there's probably some value here on him wrestling, if anything. So I'm taking the underdog, Marcel. I wanted to hear your thoughts, but I think the line is a little off in this one.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like Jason Witt, the Bryan Barberena win looks really good, But the thing as well is, like, Bryan Barberena just got back from that serious surgery he had, Also has a win over Cole Williams, but I mean, with a name like Cole, you're not gonna win. Just kidding. I'm just hoping Cole Shelton is watching, our boy, Josh Quinlan actually has an amateur win over Rodney James Edgar, who is like a UFC ranking panelist and a major journalist now. So that was something I thought that was notable. I think, honestly, that I agree with you that the line isn't good. I don't like minus 200 for a newcomer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think he can knock out Jason Witt in the first round. And if he doesn't, I favor Witt, but I'm going with the win for Josh Quinlan in the first round.
I don't blame you, because honestly, that was my initial thought, but I just didn't think he would be favored at 2-1. Like, I just feel like this is more of like I think it's a pick-up fight, because if Quinlan doesn't get the knockout, he'll get out wrestled and probably get grinded or submitted or decisioned. That's how I'm looking at the fight. So it's like, I feel like Quinlan's probably first round or bust here, Marcel. But again, the guy's got power. Witt's chin isn't good. I mean, that's the thing, right? But again, it's a different situation. Like when I bet on Semmelsberger, he was like plus 100. You know, Marcel, like this is a different spot in my opinion. All right, let's get this comment here. Appreciate it, Antoine, just giving us a compliment there. All right, let's get to the next fight here. Speaking of this guy, Takashi Sato, Marcel, I just mentioned him. He's fighting on this card against Bryan Battle in the welterweight division. Bryan Battle's moving down a weight class, minus 225. Sorry, go ahead.
Does Bryan Battle has one of the worst nicknames in MMA, man?
What is it?
Does he have one of the worst nicknames in MMA, Bryan Battle?
What is it?
Do you like it?
Oh, Pooh Bear? Yeah. It's like Winnie the Pooh, that cartoon character.
Yeah, I know, but it sounds like something else.
It's not that good. No, it's not that good. All right, Bryan Battle's favorite, minus 225. Sato plus 190. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, Takashi Sato, 2 losses in a row, you know, against Baeza and against Gunnar Nelson. Got that win over Jason Witt, but Jason Witt took that fight on very short notice. I remember in a good debut against Ben Saunders. But I feel like every time he gets a step up in competition, he has difficulties, you know. Bryan Battle, tough winner, has looked good so far, in my opinion. Solid wins. The thing is he also one of those next level guys? I don't know yet, dude. I haven't seen enough from Bryan Battle to be sure. Plus, Bryan Battle goes down for this fight to welterweight, right? He drops down a weight class. Normally fights at 185. I still feel like Bryan Battle gets it done, dude. Unanimous decision for Bryan Battle here.
Yeah, no, I like him too. I think he wins, man. You know, good grappler, kind of. Like, I just think he's a better grappler, yeah. I mean, Sato, Marcel, that last fight was just, again, I know it was Gunnar Nelson, guys, but, like, he did nothing in the fight, Marcel. Like, It was just, he just lied there and got finished, like, not finished, but just, Gunnar didn't go for submissions for some reason. Like, he had that fight in control. Fight with Baeza gets submitted there. And he's got some power, obviously. Like, I thought with Witt, knocked him out, knocked out Ben Saunders, but, like, again, guys are kind of chinny guys. Battle hasn't really shown like he has a bad chin or anything like that. Never been finished by strikes. Or he's once as an amateur, I guess. Anyone can get knocked out, but he's got a chance more so. But honestly, I think Battle wins this fight because I just think he's gonna have probably the better grappling and the better cardio, I guess. But again, the weight cut is something to keep in mind, right? I think it's his first time 278, so or at 170. So is that true, Marcel? Is that right? Am I right about that?
What? Okay,
Battle, welterweight, like it's first time there.
I think it's his first time. Yeah, I think so.
Like,
I'm not sure.
That's the only thing. Maybe watch the weigh-in if you want to bet on this one. I think he wins though, man. I think he gets the job done. All right, let's get to the next one here, Marcel. We got Terrance McKinney as a massive favorite against Erick Gonzalez. This is an absolutely gigantic favorite. Minus 850 for Terrance McKinney, plus 600 Gonzalez. What do you think?
Look at my face, what I think, minus 850.
It's really high.
Dude, that's a little bit too high, you know. Definitely McKinney should be favored here, in my opinion, you know. I think he's a great fighter. His wrestling is very good. He has good striking, but he gassed out against Drew Dober last time, you know, and that was a short notice fight. This is a full camp fight for McKinney, fighting Erick Gonzalez. And Erick Gonzalez didn't do bad in the first round against Miller. Not great, but he got knocked the fuck out in the second round, clean, you know. I think Gonzalez, Ghost Pepper, really fun fighter to watch, good fighter from Combate, but I think McKinney has more upside, you know. I think he takes him to the ground. Many people will probably go for a knockout. I think he takes him to the ground. I might go try to submit him, man. And I think he gets a submission in the first or second round, Terrance McKinney.
I mean, I'm obviously going to pick McKinney. Like, this is my guy, you know, made some good money. Matt Favoli's plus 250. That's the thing, like, now he's a mass, and against Diaz, he was the underdog too. Now he's against Dober, he was an underdog. I took a shot and he lost, but he looked good early, right, before he gassed.
Yeah.
But now he's minus 800.
It's crazy, right?
Some websites minus 1,000. Like, I just think it's really excessive, and like, I like Terrance a lot. Like,
me too.
Great young prospect. Like, he should win this fight, Marcel, and honestly, he should knock this guy out. But I'm just still like wondering like how much gas he's got in the tank. Because remember that fight with Sean Woodson? Remember what happened there? And I know it was a tough wake up for him to get to featherweight, but the last fight, short notice or not, Marcel, after he emptied his tank, he gassed out pretty good, you know. So If he doesn't finish this guy in the first round, Marcel, what happens then, right? That's my only question here. I would just maybe take the fight. I don't think there's props up, but the fight not to go the distance. I think someone gets knocked out. Pretty sure it's going to be McKinney. Maybe they'll get him inside the distance, cut down the juice. But I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to maybe take a shot at Erick Gonzalez, Marcel. I got to be honest with you at the odds. I don't think it's not like a pick I would make, Marcel, but I do think like the line is off and like maybe you look at him by a stoppage, Marcel, because I think maybe if McKinney gasses, this guy could finish it. It's possible. Like he's not a terrible fighter, guys. Like, yeah, he lost to Jim Miller, but doesn't mean he sucks. Like he's got some good experience. He's not bad. He should be the clear underdog here. He is. I just think the line should be more be like minus 500, not minus 1,000. And I know that the winning percentage really doesn't change. Like if you look at the winning probability, I know it doesn't change that much, but the payout does for an underdog. So I don't know, Marcel. Like, what do you think? Like, is there any value maybe on Gonzalez as a dog here?
It's possible, you never know. That's the thing with MMA, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I know. I would rather save my money, but like, anyways, look at the fight not going the distance. I think that's the safe bet. There's no way it goes the distance, right? Like, I don't see any way it does. Just the way these guys fight. You think McKinney would be a good step for Patty? I mean, it'd be a good fight, but I feel like if he knocks him out, this guy, like he should, according to the betting line, that the UFC wouldn't want to do that fight. All right, let's get to the next fight here. Oleksiejczuk, against Sam Alvey. Oleksiejczuk, huge favorite here, Marcel. Minus 560, Sam Alvey plus 430. You think there's any way Sam Alvey wins? It is Oleksiejczuk's middleweight debut. That's interesting. Is there any way Sam Alvey wins right now? He's riding a 8-fight winless streak. Is there any way he can win this fight as a huge underdog?
I mean, is there any way we expected Sam Alvey to get a draw against Dawoon Chung? I mean, that's right. I would go with Oleksiejczuk here, dude. Probably first round knockout. But never count out Alvey. You never know. But let's be really honest. I really like Sam Alvey. I know many people hate on him because in the UFC, dude is just fighting. He's trying to provide for his family. How can I hate on it? I know many people probably hate on him because he spoke out against the union, remember? But I think Oleksiejczuk wins, man.
He should win. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I was kind of hoping to get like minus 300, to be honest with you. But minus 560, I understand it. I mean, he's the clear favorite. What was the opening odds, actually? Let me check there. Yeah, he opened at minus 330. I would have loved to have gone that number. That's a good number to get him at. Minus 560. I still think he wins, though, Marcel. But I would look for maybe a prop here because, like, he is a guy that's got some finishing ability. And again, Marcel, I think this is a good move down for him in weight too to 185. I think this is a really good move for this guy. Like he was always too small, I think, at 205. And if the weight cut goes well, which I think it should, because it seemed like he had carrying some extra weight. If the weight cut goes well for him, and again, another fight to watch at the weigh-in. Just watch and see if he makes weight first off before you lay it down. Unless you're rushing the window to get minus 560, I would just wait. Maybe look at him to finish the fight, though. I think if he looks good, Marcel, because Sam Alvey is getting up there. He's been finished lately. This guy could maybe even like submit him on the ground. It wouldn't surprise me at this point, I can't pick Sam Alvey. I can't do it, Marcel. Sam wins. How does he win? Does he knock him out? Does he? I mean, are you trolling, or do you think he actually does win? George, Sam loses, gets no 4-fight contract. I think if he loses, I think that's it. But I've been saying that, guys, for a while now. I've been like, if he loses this fight, he's gonna go to. Will you, Marcel? Like, if he loses, though, is he getting cut?
Yeah, maybe he goes to BKFC like everybody does. So
yeah, he's got a bit of a name. Okay, so that's done. Let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. Ariane Lipski against Priscila Cachoeira. Kind of weird. This fight seems like when you want to do Brazil or something, eh?
Why the hell is this on the main card?
I don't know. I mean, well, Lipski obviously is, popular, I would say. Myself.
Yeah, and I understand why.
Don't hate on Lipski. We all love the violence. Yeah. All right, Lipski minus 155, Cachoeira plus 135. What do you think, though? Like, you got the zombie girl here, Marcel. Like, she's the underdog. She's pulled off some upsets, Marcel. What do you think, man?
Yeah, what do I think? I think she got lucky in her last fight against Ji Young Kim. I think she lost that fight, I think she got lucky against Mazany that Beltran stood her up because she would have lost that fight. And she would have been 1-6 in the UFC, with only win to Dobson. That's what I think. Ariane Lipski last time against Mandy Boom. I remember you picking Ariane Lipski in that fight. Mandy Boom looked awful in that fight. Ariane Lipski looked solid, got the win. I feel like Ariane Lipski wins against everybody who has not as a name. You know what I mean? In the UFC. And Priscila Cachoeira to me has no name in the UFC. She's pretty well known because of her fights, but no marquee win in my opinion. You know what I mean? Ariane Lipski wins this fight, dude. I think she keeps it technical, maybe gets it to the ground. I think that's probably our best option to get it to the ground either. Also, that sounds really weird for Lipski maybe, but I think she wins. Unanimous decision, this one. I'm not going a split on this.
I think this could be the split. Honestly, this one might be. I think this is a really close fight, Marcel. Personally, I think this one could really go either way. If they stand and trade, it's going to be a closely contested fight. I know they both have some takedowns they can implement too. That's what's kind of like interesting about this one. I feel like Lipski should, like, she's a better striker and everything, like on paper. But I also feel like Cachoeira just makes fights really ugly sometimes, Marcel, and like finds a way to get the fight to the ground or finds a way to still do, like you said, these decisions or like her last fight. Well, I think I think go either way, but I'm slightly leaning Cachoeira, Marcel, slightly. I know I'm not a fan of really her, you know, but I think she could just make it ugly and win a split decision. There you go. Cachoeira by split decision, Marcel. They have to look at the odds on that or something. But no, I think it'll be competitive. It'd be interesting though. I also feel like there's a chance this fight goes distance. There could be a finish though too, Marcel. They do have some finishing abilities, these two. So finish would not surprise me. All right, let's get to the next fight here. Serghei Spivac taking on Augusto Sakai, Marcel, and odds for this one. We got MMA Locker in the chat. What's going on, man? Glad to have you here, buddy. Odds for this one, Marcel. Minus 210, Spivac plus 180 on Sakai. What do you think, man?
I'm kind of, how do you say that? I'm kind of confident in my pick here, man, to be honest. You know, I think Augusto Sakai, he shouldn't be in the top 15, to be really honest, dude. And Spivac is not in the top 15. I think he deserves to be in it, you know. I honestly think he knocks out Augusto Sakai in the first round. I haven't say anything else, you know.
I mean, I really like Spivac in this fight, too. Again, you know, it's heavyweight, so obviously anyone can get knocked out. We've seen Spivac get stopped a couple times, but I don't know. I just don't rate Sakai that highly, Marcel. I gotta be honest with you. Like, I know he had a good start to his UFC career, but lately has not looked good. 3 straight losses by stoppage. Again, to good opposition, but still getting brutally knocked out. Spivac, you know, it's got some power, and then obviously I think he's the better grappler, Marcel. I just think he can take this guy down, ground and pound him. I like Spivac, but I don't know if it comes in the first round. I think he might beat him down for a while and then finish him eventually. I gotta go with Spivac, man. I have to, Marcel, by TKO as well. I feel like decently confident about him in this fight too, right, Marcel? Like, I know you like him as well.
Yeah.
Again, it's heavyweight, so like one punch can end it, but I just don't think that Sakai's that guy. You know, and he did knock out was it Tybura really quickly in Vancouver. That was cool, but
yeah,
lately hasn't shown much. You know, Marcel, I don't really back him anymore, so that's my thoughts on him. Sakai's training ATT while Spivac's at Extreme. Yeah, that's interesting. Spivac only lost in his last fight with a short notice fight against Aspinall. Yeah, it's true. I mean, he's good. I mean, he's obviously good. I think he wins. Taking a little look at how would you rate the pay-per-view 278. I mean, they posted it last night. It's got Harry Hunsucker versus what's his name, Tyson Pedro opening the card. I mean, that's just not a pay-per-view quality fight, but I mean, overall, it's just okay. I think it's not that good, honestly. It's like 7 out of 10 maybe for me. It doesn't look that great. What do you think?
I agree with you. 7 out of 10. That's probably good. Yeah.
Watch it turn out to be a 10 out of 10, right? Like, you never know. Or maybe it's a 0 out of 10. Where this matchup against Lewis? Yeah, I think that's very possible. Actually, that makes sense. The UFC likes Spivac. I think they've been giving him some fights he can win, and he's had some tough fights too. Just a lot of experience. All right, let's get to the inexperienced fighter here, Marcel. Juliana Miller. She's taking on Brogan Walker here in the tough finale, Marcel. For women's flyweight, and we've got right now the odds. It's very close. Miller is favored minus 140. Brogan Walker plus 120. Can I get my thoughts on this one too?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
So, I watched the show, and I thought these were definitely the two best women's fighters by far I think they both belong in the UFC. They're both good fighters, in my opinion. So I think Brogan Walker's like very solid everywhere, Marcel. Like she's shown that. She obviously has some experience as well. She has fought some decent competition. She's a little bit like older. She's in her mid 30s or low 30s, 32. But I'm just saying, like, obviously Miller's a lot younger. She's lots of good competition though. Looked pretty good in the show, in my opinion. The Hannah Guy fight, I do think probably should have went to a third round in that fight, but overall, I think she showed off good takedown defense, decent striking. She's kind of an interesting fighter, right? Because she's like they were showing on the show, like she's orthodox, but she fights southpaw. It's kind of interesting. She fights with a really strong jab. She's a good fighter, like I think. But I think Juliana Miller's special, Marcel. I've been looking forward to talking with you about her. I like this girl, Marcel. I think she has what it takes to be a good fighter in the sport because I think she's like, and I mean this in the best way, she seems kind of crazy in a way, and it's great. I love it. And she's so like into fighting. And you talked about her. You heard her talk about how important it was for her to win these fights, and she puts every ounce of like her body and soul into all these fights and the training for them. Like I love hearing that. I think she's great, man. I think this girl's a bright future in the sport. I was very impressed by her fight in the Tough House. She actually opened here as an underdog at plus 140, got gobbled up, and now she's favored more. So I think the people are seeing what I'm seeing. This girl's special. I know she only has 3 fights, but I think she is very good young fighter. And if she can get takedowns in this fight, which I think she can, I think she'll mix it up more and show off her grappling here, and I think she'll win the decision herself. So again, it could be a split. This one too, I think it'll be close. I like Juliana Miller, Marcel. What do you think, man?
I feel the same way, dude. I think she's a good fighter. She's very young, still 26. Yeah. Finally found out her date of birth since 2 days ago. I know she was 26, but I didn't find nowhere to be documented where the exact date. I think she's very good. She hasn't had a lot of experience in MMA, maybe, but she has a lot of experience in grappling as well. She has had some grappling fights. I like what I saw from her on the show. I gotta say, dude, I don't know. Listen, I see a lot of people saying that they really don't like her attitude. I don't know about it because I only watch the fights, so I can't say anything.
I thought she was great personally. I mean,
yeah.
I think she's awesome, dude. Like I said, she's kind of like a little crazy in a way, which is great in my opinion for the sport. You know what I mean? Like she just thinks about fighting in a different way than the rest of us, Marcel, if that makes sense.
I'll take your word for it, dude. I haven't watched the show, but I watched the fight. So
I think there was something that happened in one of the episodes, I think, with her and someone else. Was it? I want to say like Bobby Maximus was like, I think he was helping her. I think he was giving her advice, but he was on the other team, and then everyone got angry at the girl or something. I can't remember what happened. It was something like that. It was kind of stupid, but I thought she was great, Marcel. And again, I think she's a really good prospect, guys. Like I'm excited about her addition to the UFC roster. Marcel, I mean, I don't know if she'll be champ. I'm not saying that, guys, but I think she'll win some fights in the UFC for sure. I also think the girl that she beat, Caitlin Neal, she might get in the UFC as well. She's not too bad. Like she's kind of basic, but I think she might eventually get in, Marcel. Mm-hmm. There's some of the girls on the season I think might get in the UFC. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure.
I think the girls feel better than the guys, but overall, in my opinion. But
who's UFC want to win? That's my pick. I mean, probably Miller, I guess, but like they don't really want anyone to win necessarily. These girls earn their way to the finals. Like it's not like they made the match, right?
I feel like they have a preference in the men's fight. To be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean it'd be good if Miller won. All right, let's go to Muhammad Usman versus Zach Pagua. Interesting fight. I'm looking forward to talking about this one as well. Minus 230 Pagua, plus 195 Usman. What do you think?
Walk in the park for Pagua, dude. Usman is just not that good. No disrespect to the guy, but he's just not that good. He has the name, but he doesn't have the skills, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Pagua wins this fight. I pretty much even think that he takes him out. Second round.
I love him here. I mean, I think he wins too. Right. I definitely like this guy, guys. He's just a really good athlete, good fighter, solid everywhere. Looked really good in the show. Good cardio, power. He is a little undersized for heavyweight. I'll say that. I think he's like a 240-pound guy. Yeah. So he's not like a massive one compared to Usman. I think he's like 260. Actually, Usman, I think he's just a little heavier. But anyways, I still think like he could get to 205 because that's where his other fights were. Like he fought Marcus Perez and Cage Warriors at 205. So I think he might drop down eventually. But, even at heavyweight, I mean, this guy's interesting. He trains at Elevation, obviously, as well. I like a lot about this guy, Marcel. I got to be honest with you. I think he's really good. Former NFL player. I don't think he actually played in the NFL, but I know that I think he was on the Houston Texans. or the Cleveland Browns. I'm gonna double check that. I want to see for sure. I know, yeah, he was on the Texans, like I mentioned. I think he was on their practice squad. I want to say. I don't think he played in the game, but the point is, like, he's a good enough athlete to make it like that close to the NFL is obviously good. I completely agree with you, Marcel. I mean, I really like him here. I think the odds are good. -230 is a good price on this guy. I think he wins, guys. I like both the favorites in the tough finales, man. Historically there have been some upsets, but I just think in this case, Marcel, you have two. I'll tell you this: I'm more confident in Pagua though than Miller. I would say of the two. Are you as well? Compared, like the two finales, who are you more confident in? Yeah,
I'm more confident in Pauga.
Me too, just a little bit, but I like Miller too. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next fight. Vicente Luque against Jeff Neal Marcel. We got right now Vicente Luque is the favorite here. He is -155, Neal +135. Your thoughts?
I think that's a good line. I think Vicente should be favored here. The thing is style matchups, right? Bilal Muhammad is a bad style matchup for Vicente, at this moment. And Neal's a fun fighter as well, if he gets a fun fighter across from him. I think there will be a good fight. I expect this to be fight in the night, to be honest. Thing is, Neal is a good fighter, but sometimes you saw the McKinney fight, dude. McKinney always wins the third round, right? So didn't really show it against Stephen Thompson. Didn't. His last fight against Ponzinibbio was a close fight, but he won the fight. Did well. Luque always being aggressive, coming out to slug, but not against Muhammad. Against Muhammad, it was like an off day for him. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Luque is going to win this fight. Win the decision. I don't think he knocks him out, but I think Luque wins the decision here. It will be a fun fight, though.
This one's pretty tough, I think, Marcel, personally. Yeah. I think it can go either way. I really do.
For sure.
The thing is, like, I love Luque, right? But he's very hittable, and Jeff Neal obviously is a really good striker. This fight probably stays in the theme. That's why I think Jeff Neal has a chance to win. But overall, Luque is the better fighter overall. Obviously, with the grappling, he's got great submissions in addition to the striking. Bilal was a bad matchup for him, like you said. Like I didn't realize his takedown defense was going to be that bad in that fight because historically it's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. And the thing is, he can always submit you if he gets taken down. The thing with Jeff Neal is like he doesn't have to actually face that threat in this fight, Marcel. Like if anything, Vicente Luque might be the one trying to get the fight to the ground, Marcel, possibly. Jeff Neal does have pretty good takedown defense, though. I think it's a really close fight, guys. I mean, this could easily be a split decision too, Marcel. Talking about splits, this might be one. Lean Luque very slightly, but I honestly don't want to even touch this fight because I feel like it could go the distance or it could get stopped. I kind of lean a stoppage, I guess, based on how they fight. But yeah, I don't know. I guess slightly Luque, Marcel, but I feel like this is a competitive fight, man. I'm going to say that right now. I
agree with you.
I wouldn't bet on this fight, I don't think. I just want to stay away from this. Now, for the main event here, I do like a side in this one, though, Marcel. I'll tell you that. We got Jamahal Hill taking on Thiago Santos. Odds right now, Hill -260, Santos +220. Go ahead.
This is a pretty easy fight for me to pick, dude. I don't trust Thiago Santos anymore. I think Jamahal Hill knocks him out in the first round.
Dude, I really like Jamahal Hill in this fight. I really like him here, too. And I think the -260 is a good price to pay. I mean, it's fair. Like, anything under 3-1, I think, is fair. Like, at this point in their careers, he should win the fight. He's the more fresh guy. He's faster, more explosive at this point. Santos still like a decent fighter, but I just think while he's been more tactical and stuff, he doesn't have that same explosion he once had. Like he did drop ankle line, but that's it. Other than that, he got picked apart for the most part. Like he's still competitive in his fights, but I don't know, Marcel. I don't really trust him anymore either. And I think that Hill is really good, man. I've liked him for a long time. He's looked great lately, other than that Paul Craig fight where he, obviously got injured due to a submission, though, obviously. So I can't take anything with Paul Craig. He didn't fight a smart fight there, but since then. Looked amazing. Jamahal Hill, I think he wins for sure, guys. Like I really like him here. I feel confident in Hill. Yeah, I think he wins. Jamahal bullies Thiago's. Yeah, he should win the fight. Chick fights every love the main event. Co-main. I don't think. This isn't a chick fight, obviously. Bruce. Oh, you're talking about the 277. Yeah, I mean, I think apparently the numbers went really well for the UFC. That's what Dana said. They predicted Luque Jeff and Brady Bilal after Luque and Bilal. Yeah, neither. Jamal's too unafraid for his own good. Santos can so crackly hard staying away. It's light heavyweight. Anyone can get knocked out, but man, I gotta go with Thiago or Jamahal, guys. To it. And you think he knocks him out, Marcel? I mean,
yeah, first round. That's it.
Wow, there you go. Okay, so there you go. It's a big prediction. Okay. Any last thoughts on this? I just want to talk about Contender Series and PFL quickly, but any last thoughts on the UFC, or are you good?
I'm good.
All right, let's do Contender Series really quickly, guys. I'm going to pull it up here. Give me a second here, Marcel.
Yeah, don't put it off.
Pardon?
You say I'm going to put it up here. I say, yeah, don't put it off. Just a joke.
All right, give me 1 second. All right, so there are odds, I believe. Let's see here. Share. Here we go. All right. Talk about these fights really quickly. Charlie Campbell versus Chris Duncan, Marcel.
Yeah.
Charlie Campbell, very good young fighter. Still a long guy, obviously.
CFFC, right?
Yeah, 6-1. You know, good fighter. Bellator veteran as well. Chris Duncan, obviously, some contender, got knocked out by Borshchev. Yeah. Yeah, I picked up a win since then, but I don't know. I think he's pretty good, and I'm glad he's getting another shot, but I think Campbell wins. That's my pick. I like Charlie Campbell.
Yeah, Charlie Campbell was good, man. I like him as well, although Duncan, don't underestimate him, yeah.
Yeah, I think he wins, though. All right, next fight, Shane Ross minus 240 against Vinicius Salvador, plus 200, excuse me. So Shane Ross, take a look at him. I've heard something about him. What's his name? Sean Bitter's fought with this guy, Turkish Delight. I think he's the one who broke the fight, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Got some experience, obviously, fighting in UAE, Eternal. And then there's an opponent here, Salvador, the underdog. 13-4, phenomenal. It's a cool nickname. Don't look at the level of competition, guys. 0-0, 0-0. I mean, he's fought nobody for the most part. It's a lot of knockouts, though, but he's been finished a few times himself. I don't know about this one, Marshall. It doesn't seem like the best fight, to be honest with you. I guess Ross is my prediction. It is a flyweight fight. He's your prediction? Yeah, I think he wins. The other guy just doesn't look too impressive. No, it's no deep research by any means, guys, but he doesn't look impressive. All right. Francis Marshall against Connor Matthews. Odds for this one, pick 'em fight, minus 120 each way. So, minus 110 each way. Gotta pick 'em, Marshall.
Look at Connor Matthews' record. Who's on there?
Take a look. Jay Ellis. Oh my God. Yeah. I looked at this guy already. Okay, so the reason I looked at it is because his name is hilarious, Connor Matthews. So there's like two amazing hockey players. You have Conor McGregor and you have Austin Matthews. So it's kind of, Connor McDavid, excuse me, and Austin Matthews. Yeah, sorry. So he's got kind of their two names mixed together, which is cool. Yeah, I've heard good things about this guy. He's a Joe Lozon guy. So he's got that win over Jay Ellis. So I mean, he's beat the GOAT, Marcel. It's always a big win. Francis Marshall. I don't know a lot about this guy. It looks like it's a New Jersey versus Boston kind of fight. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Level competition is not too bad at all. Who do you think wins, man?
I would go with Connor Matthews here, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a pick 'em fight, right? So it's tough to call, but I would lean Matthews as well. Then here's the guy, Marcel, I want to talk about Waldo Cortez Acosta against Danilo Suzart. And odds for this one, we have Waldo minus 340, Suzart plus 280. You want to talk about this guy, so go ahead and I'll give my thoughts on him as well.
Dude, I think Waldo is a great fighter. You know, I really like him. He's 30, so he should be coming to the UFC right now, I think. Still only has 6 fights under his belt in MMA. Has done some boxing before as well. I really liked him, man, and what I saw from him for the title against Alvey against Thomas Peterson. He got the win there, big win in my opinion. And if he wins on Tuesday, I expect him to get signed. Definitely because he's heavyweight as well.
Yeah, so I've been impressed by his MMA run. He's looked good.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And he beat Peterson, which is a good win. But I want to watch his boxing fight, so I watched them on YouTube. I know it's a different sport, obviously, but man, he got brutally knocked out a couple times. You can watch those fights here on YouTube if you look. So, I mean, it just shows, Marcel, again, that anyone can get knocked out, right? But it's just Suzart guy, the guy knock him out in MMA? I don't think so. I think Waldo wins. I'm just saying, like, he has been knocked out, so I'm not as confident as you because I've seen him get brutally KO'd, right? Again, in a different sport, but still. That's the only thing. Again, Marcel, heavyweight fights, right? But on paper, the guy looks really good. There's no doubt about it. All right, and then we got Billy Goff against Shimon Strisky. He's getting his second shot in tender. And odds, minus 240 for Goff and Shimon plus 200. I think our boy James interviewed Goff, I believe. Give me your thoughts on this
I'm going with Goff as well. I think he has I'm not really impressed by Schmotritsky, to be really
There's some
honest.
good wins here too, like Justin Sumter, not a bad win, and Sean Lally. You guys are contender, and then Robson Gracie. Look at the underdog, plus 400 in that fight.
So. I think Schmotritsky only good win is probably against William Macario.
That's not bad. Yeah, I mean, like he deserved another fight, right? Like,
yeah,
he knocked out a UFC veteran. Maybe not. What was this guy's name?
Patalino.
Yeah, funny guy. Yeah, I mean, it's he looks like a good prospect. Okay, so that's good there. Let's just do PFL quickly as well, or so. The people that
I hate that main event for the reason that we just saw it. You know, the PFL.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's part of their format, right? Like there could
I know
every match. I have my thoughts on PFL. Right? I mean, I'm still confused why Matthias Scheffel is in the tournament and not Clinton Abreu because he has more points. And so did Juan Adams too. Juan Adams has more points too. Why is he not in the tournament? Because what's his name? Capoloza got injured. You know, Marcel, like it's kind of weird. I don't understand how they're picking guys now.
Same.
I've seen the rules. It's weird. Okay, you can see, right? You got it. Okay. I just saw the odds dropped. I haven't even taken a look at them until right now, guys. So like they're going to be new to me as well. So let's go through them here. Quickly, this one, Marcel. Elmar Umarov versus Luka Barboza. Let's see if you even have odds for this one. I don't.
Please don't.
We do. Pardon?
Please don't ask me for my picks on these prelims, dude.
No, I'll just quickly preview them. Minus 140, Umarov, Barboza, plus 120. Just quickly take a look at these guys. I don't know anything about this guy, just being honest. Russian guy, LFA experience. Okay, I think I may have seen his name actually before.
Yeah, I've seen his name as well, yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't, I'll be honest, I haven't watched his fights. And then Barboza, his opponent here, 2-1, Hulk. A lot of grappling experience, Marcel, but not a lot of MMA experience. But again, in the grappling, right? So he's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a lot of grappling matches. So what the hell? So his only MMA fights were 10 years ago. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, so maybe there's something about this guy that's unique because he's been grappling. You beat Gilbert Burns by submission, Marcel.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so maybe there's something to take a look at here. I would stay the fuck away from this fight. Don't bet on this fight. Oh, man. Okay, next one we got, again, I don't know these guys. This card, okay, by the way, the card is in, where is it? Am I looking at the right card here? Or
yeah, New York.
This is right?
That's
8-5.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
yeah. The next card's in Wales or something, right? Okay,
a lot somewhere.
I got confused for a second. Okay, that's the next one. All right, we got Bryan Zerker against Ricardo Jimenez. Do we have odds for this one? Let's see. Minus 365 Zerker, plus 300 Jimenez. Don't know anything about these guys. Let's take a look. Zerker 3-0. This is always fun doing this, Marcel. Like, do all the heavy research for the UFC, and then it's like this. I'm like, I don't even know who these guys are. Okay, he's PFL challenger guy. I didn't see that, to be honest with you. I watched one episode of it. I was like, way too pacing is bad. I don't know this guy, but his record's really bad. 1-1. What kind of record's that? Any thoughts, Marcel? Like, I guess the other guy should win, right?
I have no idea, dude. I really have
don't
no
bet
idea
on these fights. Like, I mean, maybe if you do heavy research, do a tape study, which I don't know if I would do for this. All right, Alvin Espinoza against Cory Jackson. Espinoza minus 340, Jackson plus 280. 6-0 guy. Fight was it Argentina or
looks like Honduras.
Honduras? Oh, Honduras. Okay, nice. 6-0.
Oh, Nicaragua actually. It's Nicaragua.
Oh, you checked or
no? When you hover over the flag, you see it.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, cool. Yeah, Nicaragua. Okay, nice. Okay, he had to finish in PFL. Okay, he fought for Icon. That's Jorge's thing. I mean, he looks really good on paper. I'll be honest. He fought Taiwan Claxton as an amateur. He looks good on paper. Jackson. Don't know a lot about this guy. Marcel Maximus. I don't know. I don't really know enough about these guys. I guess Espinoza should win. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. As far as I know.
Yeah, I know. We don't really know. We're gonna get to the ones we actually know in a second. We got Alexi Pergrand against Elvis LeBron Quillis. 0-0 against 1-0. I mean,
bro, I'm going with Elvis just because of his name. I'm going with Elvis.
Minus 285 on Pengrad. Why? Because he has a fight, I guess, and then plus 240 on this dude. I mean, where did this guy fight? Where did this fight? He's super young, 21 years old with a finish. Oh, okay. I can see why he's favored now. Who is this guy? He's making his debut.
I'm going with Elvis. You never go against the king.
4-0. Is it? Okay. It's an amateur. Yeah, I would stay away from that. Okay. Marcelo Nunez against Adam Karish. Karish minus. Oh, it's a pickup fight. Minus 110 each too. I don't know really much about this Marcelo Nunez guy. Do you?
No. I also haven't done my.
He beat Bavon Lewis. Oh, that's the guy. Okay, he beat Bavon Lewis, Marcel.
Oh, the heavyweight, yeah.
Yeah,
heavyweight
and he beat
Bavon
Anthony Gare. Okay, so he has some decent wins. He fought Rafael Laval Jr. It's interesting. I can't remember. I think I did the research for that card, but I can't remember now. Karish,
he fought in Bellator, man.
Yeah, I think he should win. That would have been a guess, but again, I'm not confident. Quickly, the last couple of fights here, Marcel. I know this is like the worst preview ever. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna get to the tournament fights in a sec. I just want to touch on all the fights. Corey Hendricks against Martin Hamlet. Rematch, Marcel.
Give me Corey Hendricks.
Yeah, he's plus 135 and Hamlet's minus 155. I think Corey Hendricks wins, guys. I think he's got good value as an underdog. I like this guy. He should have been in the tournament. He got screwed. All right, get to the tournament fights. Olivier Aubin-Mercier against Alex Martinez.
Give me Olivier Aubin-Mercier.
Minus 240 Mercier, plus 200 Martinez. I think it's competitive, but I think OAM wins. So that's my pick. By decision. I think he wins the decision. Rob Wilkinson versus Della and Monte. Wilkinson, or it's Monch, I guess. It's Brazilian, right? Della and Monch. I think that's how you say it. Minus 285 Wilkinson, plus 240 Monch. I would stay away from it, but I think Wilkinson wins. But I think Monch has got power, right? So I would kind of stay away from it. But Wilkinson should win. What do you think?
I'm not sure about that one, dude. I feel like Monch can win this as well. So let me go for the upset here. I'm going with Monch.
I don't blame you, man. I think he's got some value too. Probably as a dog. It's dog or pass for sure. Omar Akhmedov against Josh Silveira. Oh, I think I like a side here. Josh Silveira minus 175. Akhmedov plus 150. I like Silveira, Marcel.
Me too. I think he's a really good fighter. Yeah.
He wasn't even supposed to be in this spot, remember?
I think the UFC slept on him, dude.
Don't know why they didn't sign him. Bad miss. Anthony Pettis against Stevie Ray, the rematch. What's the odds for this? Ray is only minus 130, Pettis plus 110. Give me Stevie Ray after the last fight. Gotta go with Ray again. Ray?
Yeah. I mean,
gotta be right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's good, Marcel. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here, or are you good?
I'm good. I think I don't know.
No, I think we're good too. I think I'm good too. All right, let's get out of here, Marcel. That was a lot of talking, man. We had a lot of fun, but I think that's it for today. All right, so plug your stuff for the second time and final time, and we'll get out of here.
Big Marcel24 on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find my articles, if you can read Dutch, on eurosport.nl/mixed martial arts.
And Madam Martin on Twitter. Go to YouTube, download the podcast, guys. Watch it. You can download it, Spotify, iTunes, I should say. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Bookies.com, MiamiNews.com, MMAOB.com. All right, we'll be back next Sunday at 10 a.m. as well. Recap UFC Vegas 59 preview, UFC San Diego. All right, guys.